नमामि नन्दनन्दनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं करेण वेणुरञ्जितं गतिकरीन्द्रगञ्जितं दुकूलपीतशोभनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं करेण दुकूलपीतशोभनं त्रिभङ्गदेहसुन्दरं नखाद्युतिसुधाकरम् अमूल्यरत्नभूषणं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं सुगन्ध अङ्गसौरभं पुरोविराज कौशुभं सुरश्रीवत्सलञ्चनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनम् नमामि नन्दनन्दनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं वृन्दावन सुनागरं विलासयनुग वाससं सुरेन्द्रगर्वमोचनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं व्रजांगण सुनायकं सदा सुख प्रदायकं जगन्मन प्रलोभनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Vrindavan Chandra Shri Radhe. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Gopal Nath Ji, Jaya Srinath Ji, Jaya Gopal Nath Ji, Jaya Srinath Ji. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha, Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha, Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha, Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha. Vande Rupa Sanatana Prabhu Jugo Shri Jeev Gopal Ko. Vande Rupa Sanatana Prabhu Jugo Shri Jeev Gopal Ko. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnuvad Parahans Parivajagacharya Ashtottara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradacharya Guruvar ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Sri Janmashtami Maha Utsav ki Gaur Premanande. So I will quickly read the translation of this wonderful bhajan. I offer my obeisances to Nanda Nandan, whose face is extremely delightful, in whose beautiful ears hang jeweled earrings, and whose entire body is anointed with fragrant chandan or sandalwood. I offer my obeisances to Nanda Nandan, whose eyes are more beautiful Then the fully bloomed lotus, whose head is beautifully adorned with an arrangement of peacock feathers and who enchants millions of cupids. I offer my obeisances to Nandanandana, whose lotus hands holds the flute, whose lingering gait defeats even that of an impassioned elephant, and whose dark limbs are beautified by a yellow shawl. I offer my obeisances to Nandanandan, whose threefold bending posture is exquisitely elegant, the effulgence of whose toenails put to shame even the moon, and who wears invaluable jewels and ornaments. I offer my obeisances to Nandanandan, whose body exudes an especially beautiful fragrance, and whose broad chest is adorned with the Kaustubh jewel and the mark of Srivasta. I offer my obeisances to Nandanandan, the expert lover of Vrindavan, who performs immaculate pastimes and who is attired in clothes which are suitable for those pastimes, and who pulverize the pride of Indra. I offer my obeisances to Nandanandan, who, as the lover of the Vraj Gopis, perpetually delights them, who enchants the minds of all living entities. And the Stutifal, meaning the result of singing these prayers, is that whoever regularly recites this Sri Nandanandan Ashtakam will easily cross the seemingly unsurmountable ocean of material existence and attain eternal residence at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So, happy Janmashtami to all of you. Hare Krishna. So, today we will be taking up a beautiful verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we'll be discussing this with some supporting verses from different scriptures, including Srimad Bhagavatam, Lagu Bhagavat Amrit, Hari Vamsh, uh, composed by our leading acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Rup Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and of course His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. So, kindly repeat after me. Swayam Bhagwan Krishna Ekala Ishvara Advaita Nandatmaja Rashika Shekhara Swayam Bhagwan Krishna Ekala Ishvara Advitya Nandatmaja Rasika Shekhara Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Ekala Ishvara Advitya Nandatmaja Rasika Shekhara. So maybe somebody can. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Ekala Ishvara Advaita Nandatmaja Rasika Shekhara. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Ekala Ishvara Advitya Nandatmaja Rasika Shekhara. Mataji's. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Ekale Ishvara Advita Anandatmaja Rasika Shekhara. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Ekala Ishvara Advitya Nandatmaja Rasika Shikhara Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Ekala Ishvara Advitya Nandatmaja Rasika Shekhara. Kindly repeat the word to word meaning. Swayam, himself. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna, Lord Krishna. Ekale, the only one. Ishvara, the Supreme Controller. Advitya, without a second. Nanda Atmaja, appeared as the son of Nanda Maharaj. Rasika, enjoyer of mellows. Shekhara, summit. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. You all can kindly repeat. Krishna, the reservoir of all pleasure, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, the Supreme Controller. No one is greater than or equal to Him, equal to Sri Krishna. Yet, He appears as the son of Maharaj Nanda. Purport. In this verse, Kaviraj Krishna Goswami gives an accurate description of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by stating that although no one is equal or greater than Him, and He is the reservoir of all spiritual pleasure, He nevertheless appears as the son of Nanda Maharaj at Yashoda Mai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manoyabhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dati Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vetamscha Aradhyo Bhagwan Vrajeshu Tanayas Taddham Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadu Vargena Taya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavata Puranayamalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Mataidam Nayatra Varam पतित पावन निताय गौर सुंदर की जय श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की जय गोपाल नाथ जी श्रीनाथ जी की जय नवनीरद निंदित कांतिधरम रस सागर नागर भूपवरम शुभवंकिमचारु श्रीखंड शिखिम भज कृष्णा निधिम व्रजराज सुतम Vraja Krishna Nidhim Vrajaraja Sutam. Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances unto all Srila Prabhupada disciples who are present, to all the senior Vaishnavas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. I pray that whatever emanates from my mouth will give pleasure to the listeners, to our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. So I seek the blessings of all of you. Hare Krishna. So, as we know, that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, there were external and internal reasons. What was the external reason? To give Harinam to everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And what were the internal reasons? Internal reasons were that he wanted to obtain the mood of Srimati Radharani, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. He wanted to glorify Srimati Radharani's prema, the love, the zenith of Krishna Prem is Radharani personified, and to taste his own sweetness. So these are the three internal reasons. Similarly, Lord Krishna also appears with an external reason and internal reason. And we will be discussing the a little bit of a details about the appearance of Lord Krishna from the perspective of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So it's very important, especially on days like this, that such topics be discussed so that we can understand where have we got this, what is our good fortune, what have we done in our past lives, or what has Srila Prabhupada given us, and what he intends to further if we qualify into such level of Krishna consciousness. So, Srila Prabhupada, in the purport of this Chaitanya Charitamrita, has very clearly stated that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, he uses the word, gives an accurate, very important. Here we find that Srila Prabhupada is giving us the internal reason for Krishna's appearance and the accurate description of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by stating that although no one is equal to Krishna, even Krishna himself, Vasudeva Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Matta Paratar na kinchit aschit dhananjaya. There is nobody equal to me, O Arjun. So I am the Supreme Lord. And although none is equal to me, Advaita, he is indeed the reservoir, Rasik Shekhar, of all spiritual pleasure. He nevertheless appears as the son of Nanda Maharaj. Although he is second to none, there is nobody equal to him, he appears as the son of Nanda Maharaj. And we heard this wonderful Sanatana Goswami earlier, Nanda Nandanashtakam. Nanda Nandan means the son of Nanda Maharaj. So we all know the external reasons. As per the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, that Krishna appeared according to the time, place, and circumstances, millennium after millennium. What is that verse? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmani srijami ham paritranayam sadhunam vinashayati dushkritam dharma sanstapakaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I come millennium to annihilate the miscreants and to give protection to the saintly personalities. But still, according to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this is external reason. We all know that how the external reason manifested Krishna in Mathura as Vasudeva Krishna. So Bhumi, Mother Earth, was burdened by the atrocities of Kamsa and his associates. With the demoniac powers increasing, she was so much burdened with all these different calamities that she went to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva directed her to go to Lord Brahma and pray to Lord Brahma. So, like this, uh, Lord Brahma, hearing the cry of Mother Earth, he actually went to the Sid Sagar ocean, the ocean of milk, and started praying to Shirodaksai Vishnu, the Vishnu that reclines in the ocean of milk. Shir means milk. One who reclines on the ocean of milk is known as Shiro Udaka Shai Vishnu. And Lord Brahma prayed with some wonderful, powerful prayers known as the Purusha Sukta. And in the Purusha Sukta, he mentions and he prays that please appear so that we can be relieved of the burden as Mother Bhumi is complaining. So Shirodaksai Vishnu, he through the sound vibration, he tells Brahma, don't worry, very soon I will appear in the Yadu dynasty, and I request all of you, the Devi Devtas or the demigods, to appear in the Yadu dynasty and take birth there and assist the Supreme Lord in his pastimes. So after hearing that, Lord Brahma was relieved, Mother Bhumi was relieved, and all the demigods were also very much relieved, and they started taking birth in Raj Bhumi. And after that, we know very briefly that uh, Vasudev and Devki were to get married. And at that time, Devki's cousin was Kansa. And Kansa took great pride in, becoming a charioteer for Devki and Vasudev's chariot. It is an age-old Vedic tradition that when the sister gets married, then the brother actually either drives the chariot or takes the palanquin and takes the bride home. So after the wedding, as they were going through Mathura city, there was a sound from the firmament, an Akashwani, that hey, uh, you are a fool, Kamsa. Do you know that the eighth child of Devki will be the cause of your death? And immediately, such a demon who was so brotherly a few moments ago, he actually caught Devki's hair and pulled his sword out of his mane and almost cut her head off. And Vasudev very, very gently prayed to him. And there was a very wonderful discussion, a lot of philosophy. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned this in the Krishna book very nicely, that how Vasudev tried to convince uh, Kansa that you are not this body, you are a spirit soul, you don't die when the body is slain, etc. And then he said that, well, ultimately, after so much discussion, he said the concern was the eighth child. So why are you harming Devki? I promise you that as soon as the eighth child is born, I will personally bring that child to you. So Kans, and he also said that, look, it doesn't look, you are such a great king. In front of everybody, you're going to kill a woman, especially your sister. Now, does that befit you as a king? So he understood that part and he said, okay, fine. And then he let them go. Now, as soon as he let them go, uh, what happens? Uh, the first child is born, and they're not yet arrested, they're not in the jail yet. And at that time, Naradji comes. And Naradji says, Kansa. Uh, and, and one thing about Naradji is that he's offered respects by the demigods, the Devi Devtas, and also the Asuras or the Rakshasas. So Kansa gives him a seat and respects Naradji, and then Naradji says, Kansa, I heard about that predicament that the eighth child will be your killer, of Vasudev will be your killer, of Devki. The eighth child of Devki will be your killer, So, these that Akashvani, or the sound that came, they are your enemies. It came from the demigods. Don't you agree that they are enemies? He said, yes. It could be the first child, or the second, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth, or the sixth, or the seventh, or the eighth. Don't trust them. And then in one of the Leelas, it is mentioned that Naradji takes one circular object, and he draws 8 different dots on it. And then he turns them. And now he says, which one is the first one, or which one is the eighth one? Can you identify? And Kans was furious when he heard that, and he says, thank you so much, Naradji. And then he immediately arrested Vasudev Devaki, and along with the first child was mercilessly killed in the jail. And like this, one after another, 6 children that appeared in the jail to Devaki were mercilessly killed by Kamsa. Now, there is a little bit of a history behind actually why Kamsa did what he did. Kamsa was actually the son of, in one of the births, the son of Hiranyaksha. We find Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, 2 brothers, right? And they did not actually at one time listen to their uncle, which is Hiranyakashipu. And Hiranyakashipu was extremely angered, and he cursed them that you will be born on this earthly planet again, and you will be killed. All born as 6 expansions, and all 6 will be killed. So, like this, there was this one curse that was given by Hiranyakashipu to the 6 sons. They were known as the Kalnemi. And also, Kans was cursed by his own mother, Padmavati. That was Kans's mother's name. And Padmavati actually had an illicit relationship with Drumil, who actually disguised himself as her husband. And when she found out eventually, she was so upset, and when the child was born out of this illicit affair, she cursed the child, which is Kansa, that you will be killed by your own family. And we all know eventually that Kamsa was killed by Krishna, Vasudeva Krishna. So when the 6 children were killed, the 6 children also represented Kam, meaning lust, Krodh, anger, Moha, illusion, Mada means to be intoxicated with pride, Matsarya, meaning envy, and Lobha, meaning greed, material greed. So these 6 represented the first 6 children of Vasudeva and Devaki. Now it was necessary to cleanse that womb, and that is why the 7th child that appeared was Lord Balram as Sri Guru, Adi Guru. So Lord Balram appeared in the womb of Devaki, and then by force he was actually transferred into the womb of Rohini Mata, who was in Gokul. And that is why he is known as Sankarshan. Last week, I'm sure you all had a wonderful Sri Balram Jayanti, Balram festival, appearance of Lord Balram. So Lord Balram, or Sankarshan, was forcefully attracted to the womb to protect. Actually, Yogmaya did that from Kamsa, just in case if he harms my brother, then better let me transfer him to Gokul, where Mother Rohini was staying. So Kans had more than one wives. Devaki was one of them, and Rohini was one of them. And Rohini was in Gokul under the protection of his best friend Nanda Maharaj. And there, because he was forcefully attracted to her from the womb of Devki, after cleansing the womb. So there is a nice philosophy that Prabhupada mentions that we have to cleanse our hearts to welcome Krishna. So today, Janmashtami, we have to cleanse our hearts. Maximum chanting, maximum hearing, fasting. So these are very important uh, uh, things that will help us. Madhav Tithi Bhakti Janani Jatane Palana Kori. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Sharanagati, he says that Madhav Tithi means Ekadashi, Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, appearance of Lord Ramachandra, all Vishnu Tattvas. That is Madhav Tithi. Bhakti Janani, they are the mother of devotion. Jatane Palana Kori. I will very, very firmly and nicely, with great joy, I will, I will follow all the Madhav Tithis. So, of course, if some people have issues with health, yes, they can. But today, we must take Ekadashi Prasadam, as Prabhupada had mentioned. It's a must. That's something that we should not compromise. A lot of compromise was done in the early days, and there was some chat also on the group about some devotees mentioned that during Prabhupada's stay in New Vrindavan, we never did Janmashtami fasting. But Prabhupada was very kind and lenient. But we have to, according to time, place, and circumstances, he allowed. But now, after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance since 1977, uh, I'm sure our acharyas expect us to grow and mature and really take to pure devotional service as per the instructions of the Shastras. So, uh, like this, we have to clean our hearts. So, the heart or the womb of Devki was cleansed by Lord Balram, who is the source of all the gurus. He's the Adi Guru, or Lord Nityananda, non different. He is the source of all Sadgurus, all the source of pure Vaishnavas. So he came and personally cleansed the womb, and then appeared Lord Sri Krishna. Now, this Krishna who appeared in the jail, he appeared in the four-arm form, known as the Chaturbhuja. Uh, and at that time, Vasudeva and Devki, they prayed to him because they knew that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. They had that consciousness. And eventually, out of Vatsalya Bhav, out of parental love, they immediately realized that if any of the soldiers of Kamsa sees that his enemy has appeared, he will harm him. But he's still my child, so I must protect. And he requested, please assume a small baby's form, a two-arm form. I request you. And to comply with that, immediately the four-arm form became the two-arm Krishna. In the past lives, it is said that Vasudeva and Devaki had so much devotion that they were known as Vrishni and Sutapa. And when they performed so many austerities, the Lord appeared himself, and Lord said that, can I give you a boon? I'm very pleased with your service, with your austerities. So they said that, well, we want a son like you. That's what they said. So then the Lord said that there is nobody equal to me, just like what Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami is saying, that there is Advaita, as in the verse, Advaita. There is nobody equal to Krishna. So then I have to take birth as your son. So due to that pure devotion, Krishna agreed to take birth as the sons of Vrishni and Sutapa, and in the birth as Vasudeva and Devaki. So, like this, as soon as the two-armed child appeared, it started crying. Just like babies or the infants start crying. And Vasudeva and Devaki even tried to suppress that cry. Please don't cry. Kamsa will come and will kill you, kill you, kill you. And then lo and behold, and this is of course at midnight, the appearance, all the gates, one after another, opened up in the prison house, and all the soldiers fell asleep. As a matter of fact, the entire Vraj Bhumi fell asleep. Mathura, Vrindavan, all the different parts, they went into a deep slumber. And as soon as the gates opened one after another, in the corner of that jail was a little basket. And Vasudeva picked up Vasudeva Krishna. Now, by the way, the son that was born to Vasudeva is known as Vasudev. This is Sanskrit grammar. Okay, so for example, Mother Sita, one of her names is Janaki, because she is born of Janak Raja, the daughter of King Janak. So Janaki. Like Radharani's name, she is known as Varsha Bhanvi Devi, the daughter of King Vrishabhanu. Varsha Bhanvi Devi. Our Srila Bhakti Siddhant Prabhupada's Saraswati Thakur's initiated name, when he got initiation from Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, his name was Varsha Bhanvi Devi Daitaya Das, one who is very most dear to the daughter of King Vrishabhanu. That was his initiated name. When he took the holy names and the Gayatri Mantra, he was given that name. Just like our Prabhupada's name is Abhay Charnaravinda Das. So, after this appearance, immediately the gates opened up. Vasudeva picked up a basket and took Vasudeva towards the Jamuna. And the Jamuna was completely in joy, as if there was a storm and there was a lot of rain. And immediately to protect Vasudeva Krishna, his brother, as Sankarshan Nag, he came and protected the father and brother, little brother, as like an umbrella from the torrential rain. And as they proceeded to the Jamuna started actually roaring, and there was so many waves and such a storm that it was almost difficult for anybody to go across, because he wanted to go across to Gokul. And then Yogamaya said, okay, enough. I know Vasudeva is already in, and you are already to the tip of his nose, and he will drown. So Yogamaya said, I know Yamunaji is one of the consorts of Krishna, and she wanted to touch Krishna's lotus feet that was sticking out of the basket. So our Rasik Acharyas explained why Yamunaji was so excited that she wanted to touch the lotus feet of Krishna, one of her husband. So then Yamunaji immediately calms down, because I don't want to drown my father-in-law. That would not be a good idea. And then she parts ways, and then he easily crosses across into Gokul. Now, when he enters Gokul, under the influence of Yog Maya, we find that entire Gokul was sleeping. And when he came to that ghat, even today when we go, it is known as Thakurani Ghat, where Mother Yashoda used to take bath. And at Thakurani Ghat, when he entered, at that time, he just followed his way to Nanda Maharaj's palace, huge palace, and Nanda Maharaj. And then everybody was sleeping, and then when he entered, he saw an effulgence that was there and coming out from one of the rooms, and that kind of directed him to that room. And there he found Mother Yashoda in a deep slumber, and he found that there was a little baby girl on one of her sides, and that's all he could see. And what he did is, he put Vasudeva Krishna down, exchanged it with the baby girl, and then he left the room and he proceeded towards Mathura, back to the jail. Now, it is very interesting. Now I come to the part where our Gaudiya Vaishnava's perspective about the birth of Lord Krishna. In the 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 5, verse number 1, it is mentioned Nandaha, Nandaha tu Atmaje, Utpanne Jata Allada. Very important. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, nowhere it is mentioned uh, very, very clearly. But what happens is that when Vasudeva exchanged with the baby girl when he left, actually Mother Yashoda had given birth to twins. One, her own son, Krishna, known as Yashodanandan. We sing that, right? In Jai Radha Madhav Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana, right? We sing that. So she appeared, this Krishna, he gave, Mother Yashoda gave birth to two simultaneously, twins, one baby boy and one baby girl. This baby girl is none other than Yogamaya, and then whose incarnations are Durga Devi, etc. Sri Prabhupada very nicely mentions that how she is worshipped. And unfortunately, due to her sacrifice, she did not even enjoy Vraj or the mother's love. She did not enjoy Mother Yashoda's or Nand Baba's love because she had a great service to do. And that service was to make the elaborate arrangements for the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So, like this, when Vasudeva left, Vasudeva did not see the other baby Krishna, Yashodanandan. As soon as he left, Vasudeva Krishna sleeping on one side of Mother Yashoda, Nandanandan Krishna's or Yashodanandan sleeping on the other side, immediately they merged into one. So this is a wonderful Gaudiya Siddhanta or a secret that most of us, we are not privy to unless and until we actually get the mercy of our acharyas. And Srila Prabhupada's books, if you read them very carefully, he has mentioned that. Here it is mentioned that in Srimad Bhagavatam, when Sukadeva Goswami is speaking and he went into the 10th canto, during right away from at the birth of Krishna, describing that he went into a trance. He went into samadhi. And therefore, he did not mention and he did not deem fit mentioning Krishna Vasudev as the son of Vasudev who was born in Mathura. He did not mention that. Although Parikshit Maharaj is related to Vasudeva Krishna, because Arjun, his grandfather, the Abhimanyu's father was, Parikshit Maharaj's father was Abhimanyu, and Abhimanyu's father was Arjun. And Arjun was related to Krishna. So he could have very nicely mentioned that, oh, that Krishna who was born in the jail of Mathura, you are a part of his family, to make him feel good about that. But no, he did not do that. And very secretly, in just one verse, just this one verse, he has mentioned exactly what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning, the word Atmaja. He says there that Nandas tu Atmaja. Same thing in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, in chapter number 5, verse 1. Nandas tu Atmaja. Meaning, tu is a very important word that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes as indeed he is the son of Nanda Maharaj, with a lot of emphasis. Nanda tu, the word tu in Sanskrit we translate means indeed, definitely, surely, to Atmaja. Utpane, when he appeared, he was appeared Jata Allada, and they were so much in joy that he even did the Jata Karma Sanskar, meaning the cutting of the umbilical cord. So, if he was not born of Yashoda, then how can they cut the cord of Yashoda? That's one point that we need to kind of understand, that definitely there were two Krishnas that appeared, one as Vasudeva Krishna and one as Nandanandan Krishna. As the son of Devaki, he first appeared as Vishnu, and because Vasudeva, Prabhupada writes in one of his purports, that because Vasudeva was not in the position of pure affection of Krishna. Now, this is a very bold statement. Of course, we cannot make such a statement, but Prabhupada made that statement that Vasudeva was not in a position for pure affection of Krishna. Vasudeva worshipped his son as Lord Vishnu. Yashoda Mata, however, pleased her son Krishna without understanding that he is the supreme personality of God. And Prabhupada mentions this is the difference between Krishna as the son of Yashoda and the son of Devaki. To some of us, this may come as a surprise. Even when we were younger, our parents, grandparents used to tell these wonderful Janmashtami stories. We never heard anything like this before. But we are so fortunate by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and our Gaudiya Acharyas. So what Srila Prabhupada is disclosing about is simply astonishing. Prabhupada is divulging a secret to us that Krishna appears simultaneously in two places. One in Mathura and one in Gokul, as the son of Devaki and as the son of Mathura, as the son of Yashoda. Vachayita swastayam jata karmatyasya vai. In the same verse number 2, it's a combination, 10.5.1 in Srimad Bhagavatam. He called the Brahmanas to read the Vedic hymns for the well-being of his child. That's Nanda Maharaj, he did that. And this is explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on the authority of a book called Hari Vamsha. And specifically to give a reference, which is connected to Canto 10, Chapter 3, verse number 47. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, if Sukdev Goswami had been in external consciousness, then Parikshit Maharaj to please him by stating that Krishna took birth in Mathura, but he did not state that. He did not state that. Parikshit Maharaj was born in the dynasty of Krishna, relatives in Mathura, and as the grandson of Krishna's cousin, Arjun. So he did not state that. And Rupa Goswami specifically mentions in the Laghu Bhagavat Amrit, Etaj ati rahasyavatam. The word rahasyavatam means most secret. Rahasya means, those who understand the Indian languages, in most languages the word rahasya means secret. So rahasyataman, noktam tatra kathakrame kintu kvachit prasangena suchayate Sri Sukhadibi. Because this pastime is very confidential, it was not related, it is not specifically related, narrated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Nevertheless, Sukadeva Goswami and other great devotees have indirectly described in some other writings of the Gaudiya Vaishnava literatures. Lord Brahmaji also mentions in Canto 10, Chapter 14, that the words are used that Krishna Pashupa Angajaya, one who is born to protect the cows. So who protects the cows out of the four Varnas? Or the four ashrams rather. Do the Brahmins protect the cows? No. Do the Kshatriyas protect the cows? No. Who protects? Vaishyas. So Vasudeva was a Kshatriya and Nanda Maharaj was a Vaishya. So here it clearly indicates that he was born, there's evidence to Nanda Maharaj. We find even in the Damodar Leela, in 10th Canto, chapter number 9, the word that is used is Gopika Sutta. So Gopika means Yashoda. Gopika, the Gopi of Vrindavan. There are only gopis in Vrindavan. There is no gopis outside of Vrindavan as such. We don't find gopis in Mathura. So Gopika Sutta. And we find that our acharyas, like who have composed so many wonderful works, Govindas ji says, Bhajahu Remana Sri Nanda Nandana Avai Charana Ravindare. My dear, Prabhupada has mentioned in his purport of this bhajan, he has given many different times, he has sung this bhajan, Bhajahu Remana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. So, my dear mind, Bhajahu Re Mana, oh mind. Please, if you want to worship, Prabhupada clearly says, I remember this, I heard his purport. on tape. There are many types of Krishna, but we should only worship the son of Nanda Maharaj. Bhajahu re mana Shri Nanda Nandana. Avai Charanaravindare. One who can give us complete fearlessness. We find that in some other bhajans like Manasa Deha Geha Joki Chumora Arpilo Tuapade Nanda Kishora. The word Nanda Kishore is used. Again, Nanda Kishore means the young, youthful son of Nanda Maharaj. Very clear. Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji has sung this, has composed this song, and Srila Prabhupada has also sung this very wonderfully. Manasa Deha Geha Jo Kuchva, Nanda Kishore. So that gives us an insight about how the Gaudiya Vaishnavas worship Krishna. Very important to understand. And of course, we sang Namami Nanda Nandanam. And in the beginning, also, before every katha, one of the verses that Srila Prabhupada used to recite, I always recite that as well. Aradhya Bhagwan Vrajesh Tanayas Taddham Vrindavan. If you want to worship the Supreme Lord, there are many types of Supreme Lords. There's Lord Narayana, different types of Vishnus, different types of Lord Narayana. Lord Narsingadev is there, Lord Madhusudan, Vaman Dev, so many. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. Unlimited avatars are there. But here in Chaitanya Manjusha, it is mentioned, which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he likes this verse, and Srila Prabhupada has repeated this, that Aradhya, if you want to do Aradhana, want to worship, then you worship who? Aradhya Vrajesh Tanes. Who is Vrajesh? Vraja Esh. Vraj means Vraj, and Esh means king. So the king of Vraja is Nanda Maharaj, and Tanaya means son. So out of all, so Prabhupada has also mentioned there are many types of Krishna, but we are only concerned with the son of Nanda Maharaj. So Aradhya Bhagwan Vrajeshatan is Tad Dham Vrindavan. And there are many dhams to worship, especially in the holy land of Bharatvarsh. From north to south, you'll find so many holy places. But as far as we are concerned, the Gaudiya Vaishnava, Tad Dham Vrindavan. Worship with your pure heart, worship with your deep-rooted affection, Vrindavan. Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadu Vargena Taya Kalpita. And if you want to do service or seva, then follow in the footsteps of the Vrajavadus. Ramya Kachid Upasana. The upasanas of the gopis of Vrindavan. So there are five different mellows that we can worship Krishna. One mellow is Shantras, just like the yogis who simply meditate within their hearts, and they're able to see the Supreme Lord as the four-handed form, and they can see the four-handed form of the Lord everywhere, in everybody's heart. Then we have the relationship one can establish is the relationship of Dasyaras, or servitorship, where the Lord is, we can consider him as the master. Like we find that most of the devotees in Vaikuntha, they are in the Dasyaras. And the most explicit and most wonderful example of Dasyaras is Hanumanji. He is not interested in any of the other rasas. And then we find that anybody else who has a different specialty of making Krishna his friends, then in the Vatsalya, in the Sakharas, Krishna is my friend, so the Krishna accepts that relation. And then there is the relationship, the fourth relationship, of accepting Krishna as the son, parental, just like Yashodama, Nanda Maharaj, and all the elder gopis and gopas of Vrindavan, that Krishna is my baby darling. And the fifth ras is that a relationship where one can consider Krishna as their husband or their lover, which is known as Madhurya Rasa. So that is only Krishna can do that. No other form of the Lord or avatar can accept all these five relationships. So he is so kind that he says, yes, you want to worship me, come worship me in any of these five. But the Gaudiya Vaishnavas especially, they like to worship him in the fifth rasa, which is Madhurya rasa. And that is why Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajo Vadhu Vargena Taya Kalpita. Following in the footsteps of the gopis, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructed that we should do our service, offer our prema, love to Krishna in such a way, like the gopis of Vrindavan. Srimad Bhagavata Purana Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan. And there are so many scriptures. So the best scripture that is recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Srimad Bhagavatam. That can give us ultimate prem, Krishna prem, which is the goal of life. That is the goal of the existence. That is known as the prayojan, or the ultimate goal. So that is why we consider Krishna as the son of Yashodhamma. If you tell Vrajvasis that he is the son of Vasudev, they don't like it. No. So what happened is basically after merging, until 11 and a half, 12 years old, when Akrur came, because Kans sent them that, call them, both these brothers, Krishna, Balram, in this arena, and there was a plan to kill them in the excuse of calling them for a wrestling match. So Akrur goes to Vrindavan, and there he finds Krishna, Balram, who are about 11 and a half, 12 years old, and he actually takes them from Vrindavan, and when on the border of Vrindavan, when he stops to offer his obeisances, just before entering Mathura, at that time, Vasudev Krishna separates from Nandanandan Krishna. And Lord Balram, the son of Rohini, also, Rohini was already pregnant. Because it is mentioned in our Gaudiya scriptures that due to visitation with Vasudev, Devaki got pregnant just to the glance of Vasudev. So similarly, immaculate conception. Similarly, Rohini, during one of her visitations, Vasudev transferred through his glance, into her womb, Balram. But the Balram that was born, or known as Sankarshan, of Vasudev was forcefully attracted, and he merged into the womb of Rohini who already was bearing Balram in Vrindavan, in Gokul. So these are some of the very, very wonderful, fine nuances. So that Balram also, or Sankarshan, comes out, and Vasudeva Krishna, they come out of their expansions, and they are on the chariot, and the other two, they disappear into Vraj, into everybody's heart, into every particle of Vrindavan dust, which is known as in the bhav. They were in the bhavs. They were there. It is said that ekam padam na gachanti Vrindavanam. They do not leave Vrindavan even for they don't even take one single step out of Vrindavan. So who went to Mathura? Sankarshan and Vasudev Krishna. They went, and then they killed Kansa. So this is how we find the bhav of the Vrajvasis, the real bhav of Vraj, that this is Krishna. Jayati tedhikam janmana vraja shrayata indira shashwadatrahi. The gopis sing the very first verse of the Gopi Geet, Jayati te adhikam janmana vraja. So there are two meanings to this word, Jayati te adhikam. This Vraj has become very glorious because of your birth, O Yashodanandan. Because you're born in Vrindavan, in Gokul Vrindavan, in Vraj. And the second meaning is that you are so glorious that you even beat glory. The word glory is glorious, but you yourself, O Krishna, are so glorious that you are even more glorious than glory. Amazing, right? That's what our acharyas explain. So like this. So I'll end this katha right now with one little bhav of Raj that was composed by Paramanand Das ji. He is none other than one of the sakhas of Krishna, one of the friends of Krishna known as Toka Sakha. He's known as Toka Krishna, Toka Sakha. And also, he is in one of the Gopi Bhav known as Chandrabhaga Sakhi. And he resides eternally at Surbi Kunj. When you go to do the Govardhan Parikrama, after Govind Kund comes Surbi Kunj, and then Jatipura. So there he says, Paramanandas, in the Janmashtami composition, in Raj they have many, many small compositions that glorify the Janmashtami. So he says, very beautiful, just a 4-line composition. Rani tero bhagya saban te nyaro, Rani tero bhagya saban te nyaro, jayo puta suputa vilochana, kula deepaka ujiaro, Rani tero bhagya saban te nyaro. O Queen, the gopis of Vrindavan, when Krishna appeared, they all gathered, all the gopis in Gokul. O Queen, Rani, tero bhagya sabana te naro. You're most fortunate than anybody else. You're most fortunate than anybody else. Rani tero bhagya saban te naro. Jayo puta suputa sulochana. Because of your son, Krishna, who has got such beautiful eyes, Kula Deepak Ujjaro, and he is going to be the light or the crest jewel of Nanda Maharaj's dynasty. So here we find that again there is evidence that Krishna is the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai. Goda liye huluvarat gavata. And taking the Supreme Lord in your lap, you are simply singing different songs. Sometimes you are singing songs to pacify him, to put him to sleep, etc. Uralagat ati pyaro, and he is so beautiful, your son. Paramanand Dasa ko Thakur Gokula Akhiyanataro. And Paramanand Dasa's master, the son of Yashoda Mai, who is none other than Gokulataro. He is the star, or as we say in English, the apple of the eye of Gokul. So like this, tomorrow is Srila Prabhupada's appearance day. He came from Golok Vrindavan, Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale. We say that in his Pranam Mantra, right? He came down, descended to give us this wonderful, sublime Krishna consciousness, so that eventually we all graduate, further graduate, post-graduate into this real bhav of Raj as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and gave us. Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam. Knowing the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the core heart of Chaitanya, he came and established pure devotional service, which is what Mahaprabhu came to give. So this is the highest rasa. Therefore, we consider, as far as we are concerned, we worship the son of Nanda Maharaj. We worship, if we see the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji, the songs of Narottam Das Thakur, there is no mention of Vasudeva, Krishna. It's all related to Raj, the Krishna that was appeared in Raj. So thank you all very much. All glories to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Janmashtami Maha Utsav ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Gurudev ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, so much disturbance. All these people coming into the ashram and they speak.
I know. It's okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. That's why we sing in Braj Bhasha during Janmashtami. Nand Grihe Anand Bhayo Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. हाथी घोड़ा पाल की जय कन्हैया लाल की. Nanda grihe anand bhayo. Personified bliss appeared in the house of Nanda Maharaj. Second meaning is that everybody was very joyful in the house of Nanda Maharaj due to the appearance of Krishna. And what did Nanda Maharaj do? Prabhupada mentions in the Krishna book that he gave in charity to Brahmanas horses, cows, elephants, uh, lots of jewels. To the old people, he gave palanquins. Hathi Goda Palki, Jai Kanaiya Lal ki. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai.